Hey folks, my name's Ed Trevors. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm an Anglican priest serving in the beautiful parish of St. Margaret of Scotland that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Gwe. Today I want to share with you a tweet. It's a tweet about love. See, not too many weeks go by that I don't receive something condemning me for being the kind of teacher that I am, for teaching the kind of messages that I teach. And this tweet sums up exactly how I feel. It sums up exactly why I'm confident in the direction that I believe God is calling me to go. The tweet's written by a fellow named Stephen Bryce. He says, "I am utterly convinced that God will have all kinds of grace if we got the theology wrong. But I'm not entirely sure about how God will take it if we got the loving other people, seeking justice, and choosing mercy part of life wrong." I agree with this. I think he's dead on. And in fairness, he's mirroring something that Paul says in 1 Corinthians 13. You know that wedding passage? That passage where you always hear it at the wedding, love is this and love is that. Well, that passage is a wonderful description of love, but it's more than that, really. See, what it says is it doesn't matter how many gifts you have. It doesn't matter how awesome you are as a preacher. It doesn't matter how loud you are. It doesn't matter how strong you are. It doesn't matter how many teeth you can spit. It doesn't matter that you can do a spinning back kick off the altar into the congregation and land perfectly in the superhero pose. It doesn't matter how big your church is. It doesn't matter that you speak in tongues. It doesn't matter that you can prophesize. It doesn't matter that you can heal with a touch. None of that stuff matters if you ain't got love. Love is the be-all and the end-all. Love is the core of our faith. It's the core of our faith in action. Without love, we're nothing. Again, it doesn't matter that you know the law inside and out. It doesn't matter that you can accurately condemn people. It doesn't matter that you know exactly how God feels about a particular thing and what God will do if God finds out that a person is doing that particular thing. None of that matters if you ain't got love. None of that matters if you don't share that love, practice that love, walk in that love, if you don't offer that love to the world. See, coming at this from a purely selfish perspective, from a purely self-serving perspective, if I do everything I can to practice loving the people around me, loving my neighbors, loving my friends, loving my family, loving my enemies. If I'm continuously seeking out new ways of loving people, deeper ways of loving people, if I am continuously trying to figure out how God is calling me to love all those people around me, all the different kinds of people around me, the different types of people around me, all the different personalities that are around me, it makes it increasingly difficult to sin against them and to sin against God. If I'm spending my time loving someone, I won't be spending my time hurting them. If I'm spending my time loving them, caring for them, feeding them, nurturing them, I won't be spending my time abusing them, inflicting pain upon them, using them for my own benefit. The more I work on loving them, honestly, the more I'm working on my own spiritual journey. The more I'm working to love them, the less I am sinning against them, which means I'm removing more and more barriers between me and God. more and more things that can get in the way of this relationship that I have. Now, I know there's going to be voices out there that'll say, yes, but you're enabling poor behavior, enabling bad behavior, you're enabling sinful behavior, you're enabling the destruction of a soul, the destruction of a community, the destruction of a nation. No, I'm not. When we love everyone, when we love the sinner, the person that we believe is a sinner, the person that we believe is acting in ways that is going to destroy them, when we work to love them, we're not enabling them. We're not. We're showing them God's love within us. We're offering them an image of God, an image of a loving, forgiving, merciful, inclusive, welcoming, merciful God. And as they glean that image from us, as we are in relationship with them and loving them and providing for them, without condemnation, without judgment, just simply treating them as though they are the human beings that they are, the children of God that they are, as they glean the image of God from our interactions, it's that introduction to God. It's that introduction to God that may lead them to desire a relationship with God, a relationship with the one they come to know created them. And it's in that relationship that transformation happens and change happens. We're not called to condemn anybody, to judge anybody. We're not called to pass sentence upon anybody. We are not called to transform someone, to change people. We're not called to save anybody. We are called to love all those around us, saints and sinners alike. And we are called to trust God. We're called to trust God that if we love people, God will do what God does. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we will endeavor to practice our love for others in this world. And we will practice trusting that God will do God's work in all those lives we encounter. Amen. Nemultus.